So interestingly enough, the social justice warriors have won a very small victory over language. That's a fun concept. For them to win in language means that they have won a massive step forward in controlling how we think. Because speech is the expression of thought. Without speech, you could not effectively express a thought. Drawings are written speech. Cave drawings and so on and so forth. Art is an expression of thought. It is also speech in a sense because of that. Even legally defined, that is considered speech. That's why graffiti and such can be claimed as free speech, and sometimes, depending on its context, actually wins in that grounds. Also, before somebody says something stupid and facetious, sign language is speech without sound. They're still creating sentences, speaking to one another without the use of sound. This is the only difference. But there's a word out there that they constantly use that annoys the living fuck out of me for a variety of reasons. And that's because when I hear the verb, we're already giving it away. I hear the verb version and I assume military tactics. I assume a conflict, a fight. And I don't fight for anybody except for those unwilling or unable to fight for themselves. So if they stand there getting punched in the face, I'll step up and do something. Even though they're trying to stand on their merits or whatever, I'm not going to be the kind of douchebag that pulls out my phone and starts recording somebody getting their ass handed to them. I'm going to be the kind of douchebag that tries to break it up. And if one of them swings at me, they're getting fucked up, and then I'm stopping the fight. And if the other one tries to do something, you're both getting fucked up. Because I can handle myself that way. But that's different story. It kind of relates to this word. And that word is ally.
Did I do that?
Yes.
Are you sure?
So the transitive verb and the intransitive verb, we're going to go straight to the dictionary. I find it funny that I'm doing the dictionary because back in elementary and shit, when people used to throw insults at me and they didn't know what the word meant, and I could tell because I looked it up because I was kind of a nerd that way, I'd pull out a dictionary to say, shut the hell up, you don't know what you're talking about, that's not even what that word means. And I'd give them a dictionary. They'd stop insulting me because they'd start looking up words trying to find it and walk away. It's kind of a way to get out of being bullied. At the same time, I was a little bit of a freaking nerd, so it was kind of, it was interesting. Anyways, the transitive verb is to unite a form, connection, or relation between. So it's an association. He allied himself with a wealthy family by marriage. That assumes a few things, but that's fine. To form or enter into an alliance. That's usually associated with factions or rival nations or two people allying for a common cause. The noun definition is much more sinister, and this is where social justice has won. You'll get a kick out of this one. A sovereign or state associated with another by treaty or league. So America and its allies. We're not all allied with certain nations, we are with others. Therefore, when we conflict or fight over resources, it is what it is, right? The second definition, one is associated with another as a helper, a person, or a group that provides assistance and support in an ongoing effort, activity, or struggle. Political ally, military ally. And there's a different definition close to both of these that refers to military tactics. You ally with another to form an alliance in a conflict. So you're allying against tyranny, for example. So to give an easy example, World War II had Axis allies, which were Italy, Japan, Russia for a while, and Germany. And then there was the Allied Nations, which was everybody else against the Nazis. Actual Nazis, not your fake fucking Nazis that pretend to know what the Third Reich was about. You have no fucking clue. I guarantee you that none of you bothered to read and do the history. And all you did was probably read Mein Kampf and say, "Yeah, that was a good idea." No, it's garbage. I've read that book. It's interesting to know the mind of a sociopath. Let's just put it that way. Here's where they win. You ready for this one? Now often used specifically of a person who is not a member of a marginalized or mistreated group, but who expresses or gives support to that group. I am an ally to the LGBT rights. Stuff like that. What's interesting with this word, and the reason why I have such issue with it, it connotates two things instantly come to my mind, and the mind of several others because of the context that ally has always been used throughout history, which is to align oneself with another tribe or nation against another tribe or nation. So two forces ally to each other to stop the Mongol horde, or to stop the Persian invasion, or to fight against the Confederacy, to fight against the American colonies, actually. That's another good example where the Native Americans allied loosely against the Americans, the colonists, if you will. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that they've now inserted and adopted and co-opted this word. And the reason why I hate this word so goddamn much is very simple. I am not anyone's ally. If you have a cause or goal or whatever that you think you can solve and you can't fix your own fucking house, don't drag me into your fights. You can call me a friend, you can call me a colleague, you can call me a number of things. That's a personal, one-on-one basis type of thing. But if you try to associate me to a group of people to which I don't agree with ideologically, no. You are now trying to have me consort with a full ideology that I don't agree with. The only ideology that's using this at this point in time is intersectionality, to which the entire philosophy behind I'm going to be ripping apart step by step in I believe I set up a 6-part series. Oh, no. 7-part series that I'm going to start working on, where I'm going to break down the Church of Intersectionality, basically how they codified themselves similar to every other religion on this planet. It's absolutely amazing. And since everybody finally realized that intersectionality is in fact a religion and a philosophy, not actual science, the better. Because a lot of scientists, as cowardly as they are, hide and don't say anything when the shit hits the fan. Because they're afraid of losing their jobs. Rightly so, because these people have gained institutionalized power. Which is amazing to me that they would dare claim and dare use the terminology that states who is not a member of a marginalized or mistreated group, but who expresses or gives support to that group. What's amazing to me is they use this allyship in the military term to then marginalize and or mistreat the group that they think holds power in order to gain power, and then continue to mistreat or marginalize that group to maintain power. This is a hypocritical statement, obviously. And this bugs the living shit out of me because effectively you are now a bully. That's all you are to me. I've expressed it many times. I actually expressed it in my podcast when I was running it for a time, that bullies are the worst fucking people on this planet. And maybe pretty soon I'll actually do on this YouTube channel, if I haven't done already, I'll have to go look at my catalog and express the two types of bullying, because there are in fact two separate distinctive types, and get this, they're associated to gender. No, not your gender spectrum of queer, non-binary bullshit. The spectrum of male and female. To a varying degree, men and women exhibit this type of bullying, but predominantly and stereotypically, one side does one, the other side does the other, and I'll get into it. It's pretty fun. But back to the subject of allyship. The claim and the form that I am an ally of necessitates that you are aligning with a group with a military purpose to fight against whatever they decide you're going to fight against. In some clips you've heard before, people marching with Antifa, for example, their faces are all maxed up and they're getting orders, marching orders from a person of color, an Asian, Hispanic most of the time, where you need to show up and be a real ally, get out there and fight. So they're barking orders at these people who may be white, actually, so they probably have some guilt because most Antifa seem to be white. But they'll bark orders at these people and claim, aren't you an ally? I thought you were an ally, which is a little bit deeper than friend. You're now aligned to their ideological position, for better or for worse. You must now either adopt this core doctrine, or you are no longer an ally, and now you are a target, because they've decided to use a military term, which in turn makes an us versus them. It's a very black and white way of thinking. There's no nuance. There's no room for error. There is no middle ground. It's us or them. This is how they think, actually, which is amazing too. And this is the reason why they use this term. It's black and white thinking. It's very primitive. It's very pathetic. And it's essentially saying, I am a warrior of social justice, and those who do not stand for social justice are my enemy. Who is with me? You are now my ally. Let's go and attack and punch a Nazi. Amazingly to me, anybody that does not claim to be an ally of their intersectional bullshit must vicariously then be a combatant, an enemy combatant. This type of stupid ass thinking is pretty pathetic. It's bullying, as I've already said, and there's no way around it. This is why they use that term. They love the term allyship because it connotates conflict. It's black and white, it's simplistic, it's easy to understand. There's no nuance. You can agree and disagree with friends and colleagues and stuff like that. With allies, you cannot. You're either with us or you're not. It's a military term for a very specific reason. It's to say there is a fight that we have to do and we have to be had with this group. Are you with us or are you not? You can't be Sweden and say, I'm out. I am neutral party. I won't ally with anyone. That just means you're waiting to be conquered. That's really it is. You're a fence sitter. I'm going to wait until see who finishes first. And then I may align with them or may fight back. I don't know.
Nonsense.
So I thought I'd point this out in one small aspect, and this is Merriam-Webster that I read this on actually. It's not necessarily all over the place, but now they're pointing out in the dictionary that as a noun, they have co-opted it to say it's for marginalized or mistreated groups, which is amazing because they must marginalize and or mistreat a group in order to unmarginalize and or treat fairly another group. Because of this term. It's not, I have befriended gay people so I can understand them better. It's not that I have friends and family who are gay, and that means I can understand them better because I can empathize and sympathize. I don't alienate my family. But in allyship, you must necessarily alienate those that do not ally with you or align with you. It's a necessity. So I hope you enjoyed this little eye-opening experiment because I was talking to somebody else today about this very term, and I pointed it out. This is why I hate it. This is why I don't like when people say ally. Actually, I had this conversation like last year, but it's okay. And the whole term itself denotes conflict. It's black and white. It's either us or them. It's I'm with you or I am not. There is no nuance. There's no middle ground. You're fucked. If you say I'm not your ally, oh, then you're against us. I never said that either. Well, if you're not with us, you're against us. That's all it is. That's all they think. It's very simplistic. It's childish. But what do you expect from these people? They have a childish mind, much like any religious person for that matter. It has to be simple for them to comprehend. All right. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's rather short, simple, to the point. Sort of. I'm going to bed. Enjoy yourself.
Oh, if you're really so good, don't stand there. Show me what you can do.
But, Master, my knowledge of Kung Fu is so small.
Huh. That's true enough. Well then, time for us to leave.
Okay.